Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Hooked on Hunting. I'm Eric Comfortville, and today's video is going to be a short one. All I'm doing today is I'm just going to show you a couple different traps that I have, different types of traps that I have, how to set them, the tool I use to set one particular kind of trap. I have a fur stretcher I'll show you. I do have a piece of fur that I have that has already been stretched and dried out. I'll show you that. And then here I got a Onita Victor number 3. It's legal in Manitoba for coyotes and lynx. It's got the 2 coil springs on it. I do have another one here that has 4 coil springs. Just give me a second to grab it. You can see this one has 2. This one has 2 on this side, 2 on this side, making it a 4 coil spring. And all that does is it allows it to have a little bit more clamping force, so your animals don't have an easy way of getting out. I have caught a lynx on a 2 coil spring and he's been caught pretty good, so I'm not too worried about the 2 coil springs or 4 coil springs. And then I got the jaws here. They're called soft caps. It's got the rubber on them. Basically has them sitting there and he's tugging on it. Don't hurt him. But yeah, I'm going to show you how to set this one. Like I said before, they do have safety devices that they use to open these up, but I've been doing them by myself quite a little bit. So I'm kind of used to it. This is probably one of my favorite traps because it's pretty cool looking. Quite exciting to see an animal in it. And I say same principles as before. The animal comes here. The one thing I do different, people put it like this and the animal comes here and steps on it. But I've had some experiences in the past where the animal will come here and step on it and the jaws would close like this, but it would push the animal's foot out and cause me to lose an animal. So what I've done, when I have it in the cubby hole, the entrance there, I put it like this, so when an animal steps on it, bang, the jaws close sideways instead of pushing his foot out. So he steps on it perfectly and it seems to catch him a bit better. Yeah, that's that part. Same thing, when you're setting your traps, make sure your dog's always on the outside, so it's a lot easier for you to do it. Let me show you this one really quickly. This one I'm not going to set because it takes a great amount of power and I have to do it with my feet, and I'm kind of lazy right now. But yeah, anyways, this is a MB750. It's legal for wolf in Manitoba. There are some bridgers that are legal also. I have them on the wall, but I'm not going to take them down at this moment. Yeah, like I said, this is an MB750. If you notice, it's got this little thing on it. And if you look in here, these little plates of steel here, when the jaws are open, these little things sit in there like this, and the jaws sit underneath them. And here's your pan, and I'm gonna try and see if I can make that sound. So when your pan is up, your jaws are, I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna open this one, but if your jaws are open, you're setting your trap, your pan is up, of course there's gonna be pressure on these because your jaws are gonna want to open, so these things stay like this. And as you're setting your pan, if you could just take a quick listen, and if you hear that little click, that's called hair trigger. So what that is it's a lot easier for a bigger animal to come along and, like, it didn't even take like a little, it's just a very small amount of pressure to put that pan down. It lets you listen to the little clicking noise. Can't be, there you go, the hair trigger is set, and as soon as I put a little tiny bit of pressure, bang, the jaws would instantly close. And again, this is an MB750. It's legal in Manitoba for wolf, and it is one heck of a big foothold. So now that we've seen a couple different traps and learned how to set them, let's take a minute to hear from my sponsors, Dan Beaver Trapping Supplies, and I'll show you the rest.
Dan Beaver Trapping Supplies. We are located in Ryan, Saskatchewan, and are here for all your trapping needs. We are a family business with many years of trapping experience. Our customer service is second to none. From great prices to fast shipping, we will provide you with helpful advice and answers to all of your trapping questions. You can find our website at danbeaver.ca or call us at 306-273-2025.
So the ones that I showed you were called foothold. They can hurt if you get your hands caught in them. I've got caught in them number 3s and it wasn't pretty. But I got some cotta bears here, if you will, or body grippers. This is a 280. These for like lynx. Like I said, don't take my word, check your guide. Yeah, these are the bigger ones. And then I got a Belial 120. These are legal for marten, some other stuff. These ones though they're pretty dangerous. You get your arm or your hand caught in here, you're probably gonna scream pretty loud. or break a bone. So I have one of the tools here that I use to set it. I will set it just to show you how it is set. So this body gripper trap setter here, got 2 grooves in each end, so those grooves fit into these little things here, so you can see here and here, and all you're doing is compressing it. Mine, thank God, locks automatically, so I don't have to keep holding it. And as you can see, these little things here, they're the safeties to hold these in place properly. Safeties are important. You don't really want to get your hands caught in these things. People set them with their hands, but I don't, because I got a broken hand on the right side that I've hurt in the past, and I just don't have the power to hold it in place long enough. I can squeeze it, but I can't hold it long enough for me to put safety on. I use these. Better safe than sorry, I guess. And again, same as the other side. You're just pressing it, it locks for you. Put your safeties on. Now you can take your trap setter off. And that's how it looks. They're both, so you can see the safeties on both sides. So this is how your trap looks. Make sure these are outward like this. It makes your life a lot easier rather than having them down like this or up like this, because then your trap's not going to want to compress, and you could accidentally knock one of the safeties off and mess yourself up. So you make sure these are out like that. Squeeze them. Here's the trigger here, and here's the dog. I don't know if you can see that, but there's the dog, there's the trigger. So something like this, the trigger goes down, usually in the center. Some people do it differently. Put your dog over top. There you go. That's how it looks. And then you take your safeties off, place in your box, and it's ready to use. Make sure your safeties are always on, because you really don't want to get hurt by one of these. Slowly let it go. If you let it go, like, it won't hurt as bad as without the safeties on, but it'll give you a little bite. And to unset them, you do the exact same thing, just opposite of what I did there. Put these in, press. This thing locks. Take your safeties off. Do the same to the other side. Make sure you're locked in place, or it'll spring, and this thing can jump. It can jump really bad. And when you're letting them loose, make sure you're not just dropping it, because these, like I said, it'll jump in, it'll set off on you. You don't want that happening. And that's that. Let me get to the big one. So that there is a Belial 120, fairly decent sized trap. And then here we got this big guy, which is a Belial 280, and exact same thing, same principle, same steps, everything. So you're just taking your trap setter, hooking one there, and press it. Make sure you're being safe with all this stuff. This shit will hurt. I mean, this stuff will hurt. And again, here's your trigger. This might even be a little bit bigger, and it looks a lot better. So here's your trigger. The other one, when you buy them, they come straight like this. You can put them out so that anything tries to go around. It'd be easier for the trigger to go off if you moved it a bit. And same principle, same steps. And move these to the side like this. Compress it with your hands. Put the trigger where you want it, the dog too. Put the dog in there. Come on. And yeah, you take. I don't really want to take the safeties off because I'm kind of scared of this one. I almost caught myself in it. You take this. Yeah, same thing. You take your safeties off. Put it in your box, or however you set your trap. I've seen people do it all sorts of ways. There's not one particular way of doing it. You do it however way you feel comfortable doing it, or whatever way you were taught to do it. Yeah, and that's how that one goes. Make sure your safeties are on again. Slowly let go. And again, repeat this. Make sure this is always locking. If you don't have a locking one, make sure you're always holding on to it. Because this one is 3 times as powerful as that one. So let's begin with the next thing that I was going to show you, and it is this. Your fur. This one's already stretched and dried, but I will just give you a little bit of a rundown on what I did. Some of the tools that I used to do this. As you can see that I have these ones here. Some of them are for bigger animals. This one here is for muskrats. Some of the smaller ones. Here are some of the tools you can use to flesh. The fleshing knives. There's this one, the 8-inch blade. And then you can have the smaller ones that are handheld. There's all kinds of different cool looking stuff that you can use. This here is a muskrat that I caught in one of the little small ones, the Duke I caught him in. And when you take your, after you get your animal, you skin it, you have it, it's just a raw hide. You take your hide and you can slide it right over. See this thing here? You can slide your hide right over like that. And as you see the mouth here, you just keep going all the way up right until you get right to the top lip where the nose would sit. And just put that right there. You give your fur a little pull. You take your clamps. These here won't stick because my fur is already dry. I took them off, but I'll try and make it work. And at the very bottom, you take it, you put it in there, and you pull down on these a little bit. And when the fur is still wet, it puts pressure here, so it keeps the clamps in place properly. Do the exact same thing with the other side here. Clamps in, pull down, and that's what it should look like. And any fur you do, even these bigger fur stretchers here, the wire stretchers, it's the same thing, exact same thing. Steps, everything's the same. You put your fur on, put your clamps on, pull your fur down. Now remember not to pull your fur down too tight because you will rip your fur. Some fur is stronger than others. A buddy of mine told me when you're doing your muskrat, don't over flesh it because it'll turn into paper and you'll lose value in your fur and it'll rip. So I'm thankful to him that he told me that. And when you're taking, I left this one for 3 days just because I wanted it nice and dry. The drier the better, I guess. And all you're doing is pushing your clamps up, releasing, push your clamp up, releasing, and you're taking your fur off the stretcher, ruffling up. This one's I've already done that with this one. I just wanted to show you quickly on how to do that. And yeah, that's really all you're doing with every single fur you're doing is making it nice and soft. You're taking off all of the membrane, the tissue, the fat, until it's basically just skin. But like I said, with the muskrat it's a little different. You leave a little bit of that membrane on there just so it's not so thin and it does not rip on you. You don't want it to rip on you. Then you lose value, then it's kind of a waste. I mean, you can use it for your personal uses, but if you're selling fur, then you don't want to rip your fur or overstretch it or lose value in it. That's the whole point of trapping. If you're selling, that's the whole point of trapping. If you're selling is to have the most value you can have in your fur. Like I said, here's a couple. I know I already showed you, but this is extremely sharp. Be careful when you're fleshing, you don't cut yourself. I sliced my finger almost clearly to the bone with just a little touch of this knife, and it's not fun. And here's the handheld one. You have it on your board, your fleshing beam or whatever you have. You have a board, and you're just slowly going away, scraping at the membrane, tissue, the fat. Yeah, I really wish I had some more fur left to show you, but I don't. Maybe next season I will take more time on making more videos on how to flesh and that sorts of stuff. And put them on a stretcher and that sorts of stuff. For now, that's all I got for now. I just wanted to give you guys a little rundown on the tools I use, the different traps there is, the stretchers, how the fur looks when it's done, the fleshers. I already said that, I think. But yeah, thank you all for watching another episode of Hooked on Hunting. I'm Eric Comfortable. Goodbye.